Savathun is solely responsible for her own ruin. If only we'd known the flood she was holding back. These things don't see themselves as gods, no. They believe themselves so much more than that. And yet, with all that power, it was wielders of light and dark, saviors of humanity, who brought them down. Regardless of victory, we must remember that was only a taste of success, barely achieved. There will be more, and the power they hold will pale in comparison to that of their maker, the Witness. We must now face an inevitable truth. The Witness and its followers, they're coming. All of them. And when they get here, we'll finish what they started.
You opened fire on us.
My warriors were responding to unexpected threats.
Surprised you had any troops left to report the incident.
Not sure I'd go in there if I were you.
The rules of engagement had changed.
I don't need to listen to this.
Guardian, what fortuitous timing.
Indeed. I'm fresh from performing Cabal funeral rites. Care to explain?
Our condolences, Empress. Your people fought and died with honor. But they didn't have to.
We can all prevent future losses if we choose to put the incident on Mars behind us and work together. What we discovered there is a threat to both humanity and the Cabal.
You want my help.
Want is a strong word.
You need my help.
I don't know how the Hive came into possession of the light. Ikora will find out. But in the meantime...
Invincibility lies in the defense. The possibility of victory in the attack.
Sun Tzu.
I've read your texts. You want us to hit them.
I need us to hit them. Hard.
I meet you in blood, Guardian. There was violence between your people and mine. This will be forgiven. Once. Our alliance must be strong to stand against Savathun's Hive. I see Commander Ikora has delivered the Synaptic Spear. Light-suppressing Cabal technology. Refined and weaponized. Locate a Hive Lieutenant. One brimming with Savathun's influence. My scions will force it into their mindscape and connect your light to the light of the weakened Hive. It will struggle against you. You will face embodiments of its belief in Savathun. Take up your spear and destroy them, and it will be left lightless. Without the light or a worm, the Hive will die. Unless my scions keep it alive, we will bring it to your helm and sift through its broken mind to discover its secrets, all under the watchful eye of your Lord Saladin. I have led many warriors into battle, but this psychic warfare, I will enjoy the experience. Fight well, Guardian. Bring glory to both our clans, and break these Hive against the bow of our union.
Young Wolf, we have need of your fangs. The Vanguard is split. While Ikora deals with Savathun in the Throne World, we're facing more direct threats here on Earth. Lucent Hive have broken into the EDZ. Our guardians on the ground were caught unprepared. The reinforcements we sent were lost. We are facing a new enemy. Hive with the light. I will not allow it, so I'm sending you. I'm told you can use that spear to sever the Hive's connection to Savathun, essentially killing it. But before it can die, we capture it, bring it here, for psychic analysis. Keitel's scions are the key to this operation. If you see them on the battlefield, resist the urge to open fire. We need them to learn what happened to our guardians, and how to stop it from ever happening again. The Hive are at our doorstep. They think their corrupted light gives them the strength to stand against us. Now go to the EDZ and show them how wrong they are.
Guardian, we've recently had several patrols go missing in this region. I suspect an ambush.
The coordination of the attacks indicates a larger strategy.
We need to know what it is. Defeat one of Savathun's lieutenants and secure them for analysis.
Guardians drained of their light.
Strengthen your stomach. This is but a taste of the horrors the Lucent Hive will bring.
Focus on securing their leader. If they're capable of this, there's no telling what else they'll do.
Savathun's Hive are furthering their portal capabilities.
I wonder if this has something to do with the light they harvested.
Only one way to find out. Take up their own swords against them, Guardian. target is in range. Engage, but do not destroy.
Once you weaken it, my scions will send you both into the mindscape.
This is a neutral space, right? Like a temporary pocket dimension.
It contains the minds of the Guardian and the Hive we subdued, and the influence of the Witch Queen.
Those projections of Savathun aren't real, but they do real damage.
Lucky for us, so does the synaptic spear. Drive it through the Witch Queen's illusions. Feels so pointless. All this fighting. We're supposed to be immortal, but now knowing how fragile Lightbearers truly are.
It was hard for me to reconcile final deaths when I was freshly risen. All this potential cut so short.
How did you find a sense of purpose when you finally saw through the illusion of immortality?
The death of one Guardian can be a rallying cry for an entire generation. And don't forget, a single Guardian can accomplish great things in the short time they have.
Guardian, we're already getting results from the mind scans of the Hive you brought back. These things are ravenous. They're hungry for our power. They're hunting Guardians, draining their light, collecting it. We haven't discovered why. Savathun knows how to keep a secret, and so do her Hive. I need you to hunt more of them, cut them off from their light, and make them wither in the face of ours. They hate us, Guardian. They want to usurp us, become us. I will never let that happen.
For now, we have to trust that we share a common enemy with the Empress.
Every instinct I have is telling me to strike. Centuries of conditioning. But instincts can lie.
If I had told you just a handful of years ago that we'd have a Guardian who was once Uldren's Sov here in the Tower, a catch docked in the city, and the beginnings of an alliance with the Cabal,
I'd have locked you up.
you and Ikora both.
On that note, Crow. He's undisciplined. No respect for the chain of command. And now, with Uldren's memories, do you honestly think that behavior will improve?
You're not wrong. But he stepped up time and again when lives are on the line, including mine.
Oh, we can't afford mistakes now. Won't survive them.
I know. I also know you're willing to take chances on someone who's a risk.
He's dangerously overconfident.
So was I.
You were different. Times were different.
They were. But I changed thanks to you. And together we changed the times. What was that saying of yours? Every blade needs a whetstone.
Zavala.
Crow needs guidance. And I can't think of a better guide. Give him the same chance you gave me, Saladin. Once upon a time.
You fought well in the Mindscape, Guardian. Keidel's most trusted scion is searching this Hive Lieutenant's mind as we speak. Each Hive holds a piece of the puzzle. The more we capture, the more intel we gain. If we discover their plans, we can bring their entire operation down upon them. They thought it would be easy. Take the light and watch us crumble. Now the Lucent Hive are coming face to face with Guardians, true warriors of the light. And they're afraid. We'll find what secrets they're hiding, and when they gather for their next ritual, you'll be there. With the full strength of the light behind you.
Our previous subjects were unable to provide a full view of Lucent Hive activities. We need more.
Maybe we need more persuasive methods.
Analyzing the Hive for intelligence they don't have is useless.
Empress Keitel is right. Get in there and secure another Hive Lieutenant, Guardian. Cosmodrome yields our best guardians. We can't let the Witch Queen's brood control this territory. These readings, we found the light taken from our guardians.
Leave no survivors.
Whatever they're planning, destroying their light battery should stop it. There's no need to take them alive.
That's not your call to make. Stick to the plan.
I don't know how the mindscape works, but anything wearing Savathun's face is trouble.
Run it through with the spear, Guardian.
it had been you instead?
What do you mean?
The Guardians whose light they drained. They were heroes. If I could trade my life for theirs.
But you can't. I've spent a long time bargaining with the Universe, Crow. It never works.
Do you think it hurts?
Hurts?
I could feel Savathun behind my eyes when she reached into my mind. What do you think these Hive feel when we reach into theirs?
I also find the Scion's methods unsettling, but they can uncover Savathun's plans more efficiently than I ever could.
Better to just put them out of their misery.
Keitel believes these Hive might hold deeper secrets. Do not make the mistake of thinking these things deserve your sympathy.
Even though they have the light.
Maybe you were the wrong person to put on this assignment.
They may be our enemies, but this feels like a new low for the Vanguard. For Zavala.
Watch your mouth. You New Light see Zavala as some toothless diplomat, but you wouldn't believe what he's sacrificed to become the man he is. Someone who will make the hard choice, and make sure his people understand why.
Then I can't wait to hear the speech about all this.
You want a speech? Today the Vanguard did what had to be done. Mercy prevailed. Speech over.
Say it a little louder. I don't think this guy could hear you. This doesn't look like mercy to me.
Then you're not looking hard enough. Long ago, even before there was a last city, I was deep on patrol in the old forest when a local villager sought me out. They asked me to catch a thief. I told them the Iron Lords were no mercenaries, but I saw their pride as well as their poverty. When they offered me a loaf of black bread instead of coin, I agreed. Just before sunrise, I caught my thief. A young girl, stealing what she could carry. Food when she could find it, coin when she couldn't, weapons to protect what she had taken. There was no fear in her eyes. She said the bandits in the forest ordered her to steal in exchange for protection. The penalty for theft in those times was death. Instead, I pulled the crest from around my neck and pressed it into her hands. I told her the wolves would protect her. In a settlement rich with stolen supplies, I found the bandits and cut them down. 38 lives to spare one. And for a time, I believed that was mercy. Many winters passed before I found myself back in that part of the old forest. This time, no one sought me out. So I sought them instead. Wind blew through rotted wood and rusted metal where the village once stood. And behind it, graves. Then piled stones, then bare mounds of earth, and then a pit. My blood was high. I tore through the forest, hunting for those responsible. Finally, in a settlement rich with stolen supplies, I found her. A lightless woman with my crest around her neck. There was no fear in her eyes. She spoke plainly. When the villagers could no longer tithe, her wolves no longer protected them. She bled them dry, and when they had no more to give, she sent in her men, unleashed her wolves. Mercy to an enemy cannot come at the cost of mercy for their victims. The right path isn't always easy to find. But once you do, the only question is whether you're strong enough to walk it. Consider that the next time you feel pity for our enemies.
Guardian, over the last year, friends and advisors within the last city have fallen victim to psychic manipulation. Those losses and the rediscovery of the Crown of Sorrow meant that we had to develop psychic countermeasures. So I authorized the deployment of this containment unit developed by Keitel Scions for psychic analysis of the Hive. The machine can hold the Hive in a painless limbo, neither alive nor dead. This allows Scion operatives to examine their minds, gleaning the information we need. After everything that happened to Osiris, it makes me uncomfortable to rifle through their brains like this. But Guardian lives are at stake. You will be our boots on the ground, and Lord Saladin will oversee the operation to ensure everything goes smoothly. We'll only have this asset for a limited time, so make it worthwhile. Good luck.
Have you ever met someone as frustrating as Chrome? The Lucent Hive are killing Guardians in cold blood, and he wants to know if what we're doing hurts. I didn't want to encourage him, but when Zavala came in here, he asked me the same thing. I don't like to revisit the past, but Crow has got to learn perspective. I doubt he even heard what I said. As for me, I'll crack a hive open because I like the sound it makes. But I'd rather defeat them on the battlefield than in a lab. These demons have taken the light. They're killing Guardians. I saw a Hive Knight wielding a void shield. It's sacrilege. Nothing is more important than stopping them. These are desperate times, Guardian. I know it, you know it, and Crow. Let's hope he's a fast learner. We must be getting close to whatever the enemy is hiding. Their hostilities are escalating on all fronts. The single-minded cruelty of the new Hive reminds me of the old warlords. It's as though I never left the deep forests. Before all this, I was one of the last in the tower to have ever killed a ghost. But it seems that old brutality never stopped following us. If the Hive have taken our light, let us take their ferocity. Let us force them into the mindscape and smother their false light. Let us tear their schemes from their minds. Return to the battle, Guardian. Show them they've done nothing but teach us how to destroy them.
Did you assure him that they aren't suffering?
It was a stupid question.
Saladin.
There's no answer I could have given that would satisfy him. It doesn't matter whether or not they suffer, if they're alive or dead or something in between. He sees himself in them, like he sees himself in Aldrin.
How do you know this?
I asked Keitel's scion. Crow radiates pain, he said. He's the one suffering, and in a way his ghost can't heal. I know what self-loathing feels like.
And I know grief.
This isn't anything like... You're stronger than he is.
And who helped me find that strength? When I was at my lowest. Crow is grieving. For himself, for the innocence he's lost. For the price of the truth.
He's going to hurt himself, or worse, hurt someone else.
You've always been more than a soldier, Saladin. You're a protector. So protect.
You have done well. The Hive are in disarray. I spoke to the scion running the equipment while you were gone, the one Keitel trusts above the others. I used words, while I allowed him to use telepathy. He hosted me in his mindscape. It was not what I had envisioned. A neutral place where we met as equals. He shared with me openly. He sees flashes of gray and red in the minds of the Hive. He interprets this as a vision. We will soon know where to attack. I was struck by the tone of his thoughts. His actions are heavy with a sense of duty. He does not enjoy working on an unwilling mind, no matter how wicked it may be. I mentioned Keitel, and he radiated warm feelings. Harsh, brutal feelings, but still warm. He and Keitel share an old friendship. Crow has been sulking more than usual lately. Perhaps I should encourage him to speak with the Scion as well. It may do him good. I will contact you when we have taken the new information from the Hive. Until then, Iron Will, Guardian. Load your guns, Guardian. The Scion has discovered the truth behind the Hive's plans. They're vying for control of the Scarlet Keep on the moon. The Lucent Hive want to take it from Xivu Arath's forces and claim it for themselves. They're using their stockpiled light, taken from dead Guardians, and trying to manifest Savathun's throne world. If they're successful, they'll launch a full-scale invasion of Earth. This was their plan from the beginning. Take our home, corrupt our planet, overrun us, remove us from the universe. And when we are gone, forgotten, they will become the Guardians. Go to the Scarlet Keep. Summoning the throne world will take an elaborate ritual. Stop it. Keitel has pledged her full support and is already approaching the moon with her forces. Let that be the last thing these Hives see. Unity in the face of oblivion. Show them that even if they destroy us, they will never destroy who we are. I'm counting on you, young wolf.
I didn't expect your people to deploy a cannon quite that large. I don't think the Hive did either.
A cannon is unexceptional, no matter the size. But a Guardian with the tusks to climb into one and fire themselves at a Hive command ship?
When death is no longer an obstacle, it becomes a remarkable teacher.
Lessons learned in your crucible.
And the Iron Banner. Lord Saladin is very proud.
He may not appreciate the comparison, but he thinks like a Primus.
Empress, I know this is a sensitive topic, but how long do you believe your forces can commit to a sustained war against our enemies?
Until the last of us draws their final breath.
We have a loose assessment of your numbers, estimates on your fleet in orbit. If this is to become a permanent alliance...
Our war with the Hive is not a matter of strategy or force, Commander, but one of honor. billions died on Torobatl. Countless more on other worlds of the Empire that collapsed to infighting or further invasion by Xivu Arath. Outside our rituals, the death of even one Cabal demands reprisal. A life for a life. The Hive have accrued a great debt.
And who will raise a monument to your people's honor when the last Cabal dies? Waging a war of vengeance.
You. A mighty invasion force, perched on Earth's doorstep. No doubt enabled by a ritual using your stolen light.
If we don't shut this down now, the Lucent Hive will retake the Scarlet Keep.
And you will have traded Xivu Arath's forces for those of her sister.
Better the devil we know. Shut down the Hive ritual, and stop this invasion before it begins.
I'm deploying a Brockus to assist you, Guardian. We are one coalition, and we strike with one fist.
Lucent Hive are turning the moon into their stomping grounds. If we lose here, they'll take Earth next. You have to stop them. One big ritual. This must be what's keeping the portal open.
If you're right, then targeting the tribute bearers will ruin the operation.
Savathun infests the minds of her followers. Drive her out at the point of your spear, Guardian.
I should like to speak with your Eris Morn about these hive rituals. I need to understand how Torobatl was taken, so I may take it back.
That can be arranged. But I should warn you, Eris can be...
Difficult?
I was going to say blunt.
My father once told me that I use my words like a club, when I should wield them like a knife. He was very disappointed. Tell Morn that I look forward to speaking plainly with her.
Crow, what happened?
I didn't mean to.
A full abort sequence initiated from this location. What have you done?
I shut it down. I didn't know it would kill the Scion.
Keitel sends an emissary to the tower, and you kill him. Can you even understand the repercussions this will have?
I'll face them. What the Vanguard was doing here wasn't right.
It's not your place to judge.
You said the right path can be hard to find, but when you do, you have to be strong enough to walk it.
I also said mercy to an enemy must not come at the cost of their victims.
We already disrupted Savathun's ritual on the moon. I couldn't stand by while we did this to these Hive.
The Hive are monsters.
So was I.
When Keitel learns of this, I hope the Vanguard can survive your conscience.
You understand, don't you?
Crow, how do you justify the innocent blood on your hands? It was honorable.
It was an accident.
A Cabal word for accident has two syllables. One is fault, the other responsibility. Honor the scion whose life was taken. A life for a life. That is our way.
That is your way, not ours.
You will not deny us justice!
Do what you believe is right. I did.
I will honor you. You demand a life for a life. Take mine.
Cabal reward bravery in the face of death. I accept. Your life is forfeit. You will serve the rest of your days on my war council as Brachus Forge.
Then it's done.
Zavala, you can't...
Not a word.
I suppose you're here to say goodbye, eh, young wolf? Or to demand to know why. Because I chose to. I saw you fighting alongside Keitel's warriors on the moon. A strong alliance. The Vanguard needs it now more than ever before. But Zavala, I also saw the look in his eyes. He would have thrown it all away to protect one of his people. And for a time, he would have believed that was mercy. I'm starting to think people don't really listen to my stories. I was given a wish once, and I chose to fight a dragon, because we are what we survive. I will serve this alliance. My shoulders have borne more weight than this. My honor holds its luster through deeper stains. If this is the cost of tomorrow for the Vanguard, I will gladly pay it. Keitel stayed her hand when I placed myself at her mercy. Because she chose to. That I can respect. I told Keitel she'd have to kill me to keep me from the Iron Banner. She said that wouldn't be necessary. In fact, she has a few ideas of her own. This may prove interesting. I left something in the helm for Crow. If he's half as smart as he thinks he is, he'll understand what it means. Until our paths cross again, young wolf.
It's over, Guardian. The Lucent Brood will never take the Scarlet Keep, and their invasion force is in shambles. I'm grateful Saladin stepped in when he did. He preserved the Cabal alliance without bloodshed. I'm afraid I was about to do something rash. All these centuries later, and Saladin is still saving me from myself. I decommissioned the psychic analysis program, against Keitel's recommendations. I suggested she continue to collect the dead Hive lieutenants for incineration, but that seemed to put her mind at ease. She's been true to her word. Crow's life debt is paid. Our coalition is back on solid ground. I have my reservations. But Saladin believes this is the best path forward. The Scion is avenged in the eyes of the Cabal, a gift that I assure you is not lost on the Empress. And most importantly, humanity finally has a voice on her war council. We must respect Saladin's choice.
something I believed in.
You lack the self-awareness to know what you believe in.
I...
Your mind is a storm of guilt, both your own and someone else's. We put a gun in your hand and told you who we wanted you to be. And now you're struggling to reconcile a lifetime of Aldrin Sov's experience with only a few years of your own. We all die a final death. Yours was not meant to be today.
I was wrong about you, Saladin. I'm so sorry.
I respect you for sticking to your convictions, but let this be another lesson. Doing what you believe is right, as you have, as I have, doesn't absolve you from the consequences of those actions. Someone must always pay the price.